Liverpool fans have every reason to be excited about Jeremy Jacquet after what was an outstanding first appearance at Anfield, but Andoni Iraola has now delivered a very important warning ahead of Sunday's huge Premier League clash with Newcastle. Let's break this down. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Jacquet immediately caught the attention against Como, putting in a hugely impressive defensive display and even getting himself on the score sheet. For a 21-year-old making his unofficial Liverpool debut, it was the kind of performance that naturally sends expectations through the roof. And that is exactly what Iraola wants to avoid. Speaking to TNT Sports, the Liverpool head coach admitted that Jacquet's performance was so good that it could actually create a problem if supporters now expect that same level from him every single week. Iraola's message was clear. Jacquet is an exceptional young talent, but he is still learning. The Liverpool boss pointed out that the Frenchman had not played a competitive game since February, meaning his return to action against Como was already a significant step. To then score in front of the Anfield crowd and look so composed defensively made the performance even more impressive. But Iraola knows the Premier League is an entirely different challenge. He openly admitted that Jacquet will make mistakes. At just 21 years of age and with virtually no Premier League experience, there will inevitably be moments when things do not go perfectly. However, the most important part of Iraola's comments was what came next. He made it clear that Liverpool trust Jacquet, and that could be the biggest revelation of all. Rather than allowing one brilliant pre-season performance to create unrealistic expectations, Iraola appears determined to give the youngster room to develop naturally. Liverpool clearly believe they have a very special player on their hands, but they also understand that throwing too much pressure onto his shoulders too quickly could be counterproductive. Now, that brings us to the massive question ahead of Newcastle. Does Iraola actually start Jacquet? Liverpool have a decision to make alongside Virgil van Dijk, with Ronald Araujo also pushing for a place in the starting 11. Araujo impressed against Como as well, showing exactly why Liverpool brought him into the squad. The Barcelona captain, currently on loan, offers experience, physicality, and quality at the back, while Jacquet represents the exciting unknown, and that makes Iraola's decision particularly fascinating. On one hand, Jacquet's performance against Como may have been too good to ignore. His confidence, composure, and ability to contribute at both ends of the pitch certainly gave Liverpool supporters something to get excited about. But on the other, Araujo's greater experience could make him the safer option for a difficult away trip to Newcastle. There is also the question of match fitness. Jacquet has only just returned from a long period without playing, while Araujo has also been building up his minutes during pre-season. So while supporters may desperately want to see Jacquet given the opportunity, Iraola has to think beyond one brilliant performance. And that is ultimately what makes this reveal so interesting. Iraola isn't denying Jacquet's potential. In fact, his comments almost suggest the opposite. He is simply trying to make sure the youngster isn't judged against an impossibly high standard after one spectacular appearance, because there is clearly something special about this player. Jacquet has already represented France at under 17, under 18, under 19 and under 20 level, and the international pedigree tells you plenty about how highly he has been regarded throughout his development. He also possesses leadership qualities, having captained his country at several youth levels. So while the Como performance was only a pre-season friendly, it is understandable why Liverpool supporters are already getting excited. The Newcastle clash, however, could provide the first real indication of whether Jacquet is ready to take that next step. Will Iraola trust the youngster from the start? or will experience win out with Araujo alongside Van Dijk. In other news, Liverpool have now officially completed one of the most controversial departures of the summer, with Curtis Jones leaving his boyhood club to join Inter Milan. After weeks of negotiations, the transfer has finally been completed, with Jones undergoing his medical on Friday before putting pen to paper on a 5-year contract with the Italian Giants. The final package is reportedly worth £30 million, with Liverpool receiving an initial £25.6 million and the remainder coming through achievable add-ons. But while the deal is now officially done, there is already plenty of debate surrounding it. For Liverpool supporters, the biggest talking point may not even be the fact that Jones has left. It is the fee. In a summer where transfer prices have reached extraordinary levels, £30 million for a 25-year-old midfielder with 228 appearances for Liverpool looks, on the surface, like a surprisingly low figure. Just look at some of the numbers involved elsewhere. Elliot Anderson has reportedly moved to Manchester City for £116 million. Against that backdrop, Liverpool receiving £30 million for a player of Jones's ability is inevitably going to raise eyebrows. And perhaps, most importantly, Liverpool were not actively trying to force Jones out of the club. The decision came from the player himself. Jones wanted a new challenge and, more importantly, wanted to become a consistent first-team player at the highest level. Despite being a lifelong Liverpudlian and coming through Liverpool's academy, he evidently felt that his opportunities under new head coach Andoni Iraola might not be enough to satisfy those ambitions. That is where this transfer becomes particularly interesting. There had been hope that Iraola's arrival could give Jones a clean slate following a difficult final season under Arne Slot. Jones's relationship with Slot appeared to deteriorate throughout the campaign, and his future at Anfield had increasingly become uncertain. The arrival of Iraola offered the possibility of a fresh start. But clearly Jones did not feel confident that he would become the central figure he wanted to be. Instead, he has chosen Inter Milan, where he will now look to establish himself as a key part of Christian Chivu's plans. This is not simply a case of Jones moving somewhere where guaranteed minutes are waiting for him. He will still have to earn his place. But at Liverpool, it appears he felt that the pathway to becoming a guaranteed starter was becoming increasingly difficult. And that leaves Liverpool with a major decision to make. Following Jones's departure, the Reds are left with just 4 senior central midfield options in Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, Dominic Szoboszlai, and Wataru Endo.